Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. There are certain players in the NFL who just have that it factor, the ones who keep offensive coordinators up at night, who give tackles nightmares long before kickoff. And right now, one of those names climbing up that list faster than anyone else is Chop Robinson, the second-year edge rusher for the Miami Dolphins. You wouldn't expect someone with only one full NFL season under his belt to already be getting Von Miller comparisons. But that's exactly what former Dolphins star Terron Armstead laid out during his appearance on Good Morning Football. And, folks, this isn't just some throwaway comparison. Armstead called Robinson Von Miller-esque. And let's be honest, when a respected veteran who's faced every monster edge rusher in the league says that about you, people need to listen. Chop Robinson didn't just earn praise, he earned a stamp of legitimacy. And that's why he's becoming a true problem for NFL offenses. Now let's rewind a little bit, because what makes this even more impressive is the transformation Robinson went through in his rookie campaign. The guy started the season almost invisible. Just 11 pressures in the first 8 weeks. That's not exactly the kind of start that gets you on a former Pro Bowler's radar. But then came week 9, and from that moment on, something clicked. He turned into a completely different animal. Suddenly, it wasn't just flashes of potential. It was sustained production, week in and week out. 45 quarterback pressures from week 9 to the end of the season. That's elite. That's not just talent, that's evolution. And when you drop 10 pressures on the Patriots in week 12, the kind of performance that tilts the entire game plan, people start taking notice. Coaches, analysts, and especially the guys who've been in the trenches, they know what that means. That's why when Armstead started listing off his nightmare pass rushers, Robinson came in at No. 4, and more surprisingly, ahead of Jared Verse. That raised some eyebrows, especially because Armstead had just gone on SiriusXM NFL radio and said Verse is the one guy he's happy to never face again. That tells you everything about the context of this list. Armstead's not throwing out names for the sake of it. He's ranking based on fear factor, and Chop Robinson is already a bigger concern than someone he called a future defensive player of the year. That's not just hype, that's a statement. It means Robinson isn't just good. He's disruptive. He's the guy who can ruin a drive, blow up a protection scheme, or shift momentum in a single snap. That's the stuff that makes O-linemen groan during film study. But what exactly makes Chop Robinson so special? What makes him this type of nightmare presence that coaches have to prepare for differently? For starters, and this can't be overstated, his first step explosiveness is insane. We're talking about a get-off that immediately puts him in the driver's seat of the rep. If you're an offensive tackle and you're even a fraction late, he's already into your frame. That's the Von Miller comp right there. Von made his money off timing and leverage, and Chop has that same twitchy explosiveness. Then comes the bend. He doesn't just turn the corner, he carves around it, keeping his momentum and balance like a veteran. It's the kind of movement that can't be taught. It's instinct, and it's scary. Watch the tape. The man folds his body round edges like he's made of rubber. That's the DNA of an elite pass rusher. And here's the thing, when he's lined up next to guys like Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips, you can't slide protection his way on every snap. You can't double team everyone. That means more one-on-one matchups for Chop. And in those moments, he's lethal. Terron Armstead even said it himself. This year, Chop is coming out of the gate blazing. That's a scary sentence for opposing quarterbacks, because if he picks up where he left off in 2024, he's going to be living in the backfield. There's a chance, even if it's not this season, that he leads the league in sacks. And when a guy like Armstead floats that possibility, it's not fan fiction, it's grounded in experience, in watching tape, and having to block freak athletes his whole career. That's a real warning for the rest of the AFC. It's also important to understand how rare this combination is. You don't often get speed, bend, aggression, and raw athleticism all packed into one player and still have upside to grow. That's the terrifying part. Robinson isn't even scratching the surface of what he could be. Armstead mentioned how cerebral he's becoming, how he's learning the nuances of the game. That's where great edge rushers separate themselves. The freaky athletes come and go, but the ones who study the craft, who learn how to manipulate angles, set up moves, beat blockers with timing and deception, those are the ones who last. That's what made Von Miller great, and Chop seems to be on that path. If he develops a pass rush plan that's even half as polished as Vince, it's over. The NFL better take notice, because Miami's got something brewing on defense. And don't forget the context of this Dolphins team. They've been leaning on offense for years. Tua, Tyreek, Waddle, that's the identity. But this year, it might just be the defense that steals the show. A young, hungry edge like Chop anchoring the pressure packages gives Miami a totally different edge. He's the kind of guy who flips field position, forces turnovers, makes the other quarterback rush decisions. That creates opportunities for the secondary, and you start getting complimentary football. Suddenly, this isn't just a high-flying offense with a suspect D, it's a team with balance. And it all starts with no 40 for turning the corner and collapsing pockets. That's how contenders are built. With elite edge rushers who change the math on third down. It's easy to get carried away with hype, especially in the off-season. But in Chop's case, the tape doesn't lie. Watch those reps from Week 12 against New England. Watch how he times the snap, explodes past the tackle, flattens the arc, and hunts the quarterback like it's personal. That's not just a good play, that's a warning shot. It told the league he was here, and from that point forward, he never looked back. 6 sacks in the back half of the year, dozens of pressures, and now a full off season to build on it. If he adds counter moves, if he improves his hand usage, and continues to study film the way Von Miller did in his prime, the ceiling's not just Pro Bowl. It's all pro. It's DPOY conversation, and it can happen faster than anyone expects. And so here we are, heading into 2025, with a second-year pass rusher being talked about in the same breath as a Hall of Famer. It sounds crazy, but the game tape says otherwise. The numbers say otherwise. And the veterans who've been in the trenches, guys like Armstead, they're not just throwing praise around for fun. They've seen it all. And when they call someone a nightmare, it means that guy is different. Chop Robinson is different. He's got the tools, the mindset, the hunger, and now the experience. This year could be the moment he goes from promising young talent to full-on defensive superstar. One thing's for sure, quarterbacks around the league are going to know exactly who no 44 is. And they won't be sleeping easy the night before kickoff. Because at the end of the day, what makes Chop Robinson a nightmare isn't just his talent. It's the combination of raw power and relentless motor, elite traits and growing technique, plus the fire to prove he belongs among the league's best. Every snap is a chance for him to make his mark. Every drive is a new opportunity to wreck the game plan, and for Miami, he's more than just a rising star. He's the future of their defense. Chop's not just chasing quarterbacks, he's chasing greatness, and if you're not ready to block him, prepare to meet him in your backfield, because the nightmare is just getting started. Still with us? Then show some love, hit that like button, and let us know in the comments what's your take on the Fins this week, in what could be one of the most shocking developments of the NFL offseason. A massive wave of speculation is crashing down on South Florida. Word on the street is that MAXX CROSBY, the relentless edge rusher of the Las Vegas Raiders, has reportedly landed in Miami for what insiders are calling a secretive but highly strategic visit. The whispers began when CROSBY was spotted at Miami International Airport late Tuesday night, with sources close to the player hinting that this wasn't just a vacation trip. Social media exploded with photos, tweets, and TikToks claiming the star defender was seen with members of the Dolphins front office. And things only got louder from there. Could it be true? Is MAXX CROSBY really about to swap silver and black for aqua and orange? If so, Dolphins GM Chris Grier may have just pulled off one of the boldest coups of the decade. Let's not forget who we're talking about here. MAXX CROSBY isn't just another free agent floating through the league. He's a cornerstone player, a culture changer, a quarterback's nightmare on 2 legs. Since entering the NFL, he's become synonymous with elite pass rush and relentless motor. With double-digit sacks in multiple seasons, CROSBY has consistently ranked among the league's best defenders, earning Pro Bowl nods and All-Pro consideration. It's rare to see a player of his caliber even entertain the idea of leaving his team, especially when he's such a fan favorite. That's what makes this whole situation so shocking. Something must have changed in Vegas. Or maybe, just maybe, Chris Grier and the Dolphins made an offer so big, so irresistible, that even MAXX CROSBY had to sit down and think long and hard about what comes next in his career. And here's where things get even juicier. According to multiple sources familiar with the Dolphins' front office operations, Grier has been preparing for a move like this for months, ever since the Dolphins' defense stumbled late last season and left fans scratching their heads. Rumors started swirling that Miami would make a defensive splash in 2025. But few thought it would be this big. After locking in key pieces on offense, the Dolphins' next logical step was to bolster their front seven. And there's arguably no bigger defensive piece available, or potentially available, than MAXX CROSBY. And now, if the rumors are true, Grier didn't just swing for the fences, he may have cleared the entire stadium. Reports suggest the Dolphins have opened the vault, ready to back up the Brinks truck with a mega salary package that could reset the market for defensive ends. So, what kind of money are we talking about? Sources close to the league suggest this deal could surpass $30 million per year, with Crosby potentially becoming the highest paid defensive player in the NFL. Think about that. Not just the highest paid edge rusher, but the top defensive contract. Period. The kind of money that makes agents salivate and opposing GMs panic. And here's the thing, Miami isn't doing this just for headlines. The AFC East has become a brutal battleground, and with Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, and a revitalized Patriots system all in the mix, Miami knows they need to pressure the quarterback more consistently, with Crosby on one edge and Bradley Chubb or Jalen Phillips on the other. The Dolphins could field one of the most terrifying pass-rushing duos in the entire league. And don't underestimate the strategic brilliance behind this potential move. By bringing in Crosby, Miami isn't just getting sacks, they're getting leadership, heart, and attitude. He's the kind of player who raises the temperature in the locker room, the weight room, and the film room. Coaches rave about his intensity, his preparation, and his refusal to take plays off. He plays like every snap is his last. Imagine that mentality infecting a young, hungry Dolphins defense. Imagine the ripple effects across the team. Suddenly, that defense doesn't just have talent, it has an identity, an edge, a swagger. And that's exactly what Chris Grier and head coach Mike McDaniel have been trying to build. They want to turn Miami into a place where elite players not only want to play but want to win. Now, obviously, this deal isn't done. Not yet, at least. Crosby is still under contract with the Raiders, and that means any movement would require a blockbuster trade or a shocking release, which feels unlikely. But if there's anything we've learned from the modern NFL, it's that loyalty only goes so far. When business is involved, players are more empowered than ever before. And when stars want out, they usually find a way. And with the Raiders entering yet another rebuild phase, it's possible that Crosby sees the writing on the wall. He's given them everything. Maybe now he wants to chase something bigger, a real shot at a Super Bowl with a team that's trending up. And Miami, for all its past inconsistencies, is absolutely on the rise. And don't forget Crosby's ties to Miami. While he's not from the area, he's long expressed admiration for players like Jason Taylor and Cameron Wake, Dolphins legends, known for their pass-rushing prowess. Some insiders believe Crosby sees Miami not just as a new team, but as a legacy opportunity. A chance to etch his name in the same books as the greats, in a city that thrives on flash, energy, and greatness. And let's be honest, can you really imagine Crosby in that sleek, all-black Dolphins alternate uniform? It's a look made for prime time. The NFL is a business, yes, but it's also entertainment, and this would be box office gold. Still, for all the excitement, the Dolphins front office is keeping things tight-lipped. No official comment from Grier, no leaks from the coaching staff, just a lot of smoke. And where there's smoke in the NFL offseason, there's usually fire. Maybe this is just a power play by Crosby's camp to force the Raiders' hand. Maybe it's just a dream Dolphins fans are clinging to in a slow news week. Or maybe, just maybe, it's real. Maybe the Dolphins have done what so many teams failed to do, pry away a generational talent at the peak of his powers. And if so, the rest of the league better start watching film, because a tsunami of pressure might be about to hit the AFC. The reaction from fans has been electric. Social media is ablaze with speculation, mock-up jerseys, and bold predictions. Crosby plus Chubb equals Sack City is already trending on X. Dolphins players are cryptically tweeting emojis and GIFs. The energy is real, even if the ink on the contract isn't. And for Dolphins Nation, after years of heartbreak, false hope, and frustrating finishes, this feels different. This feels big. It feels like a franchise finally ready to go all in, to embrace greatness, and to pay whatever price it takes to bring a Lombardi trophy back to Miami. Whether or not this all materializes, one thing is clear: the NFL world is watching, and if this tidal wave of a rumor becomes reality, the Dolphins might just become the most dangerous team in football. So, buckle up. The offseason just got a whole lot wilder. MAXX Crosby to the Dolphins. It might still be a rumor, but if the NFL has taught us anything, it's that today's rumors are often tomorrow's breaking news. And in this case, it wouldn't just be breaking, it would be earth-shattering. Stay tuned. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.